So there's 3 episodes of the Clone Wars animated series that I think really stand out and occupy a special place in the Star Wars mythos. Written by George Lucas, these 3 episodes collectively form the Mortis arc. George was more involved in these episodes than he usually was, because they delve deeply into the nature of the Force.
And these concepts of the bigger spiritual aspect of Star Wars. He's very involved in them, and to be honest, the writers and I feel very strongly when we're bringing these type of episodes to screen that, I mean, George has to be more involved than normal, because we have to get this stuff right. Of everything we do, you know, we have to get this stuff right, because this is the Force. I mean, this is the whole ball game.
They were a bit unlike anything we had yet seen in the main saga films and their animated counterpart. Stylistically, they were more magical, emphasizing this idea that Star Wars is a fantasy. But the real focus of the arc is on Anakin Skywalker's destiny as the Chosen One and what it means for the Force to be in balance. The Mortis episodes give us 2 valuable insights. The first is that they expand upon the story of the first 6 saga films. The second is that, through their missing components, they reveal what's necessary for the sequel trilogy to have a happy ending.
This is all spiritual, this is all metaphor, this is all symbolic in some way.
This will be a 3-part video series, each video covering an episode from this arc. I may throw out a podcast discussion about it later as well, to more fully express some thoughts. I view these episodes as sort of a holocron that George gave us to aid our understanding of the underlying mythological and psychological themes of his story. Maybe that's why the journey begins with our heroes entering what looks like a giant holocron in the first episode, which is called Overlords. The opening phrase that defines this episode's central theme is, "Balance is found in the one who faces his guilt." I think even if I didn't bring this up, you'd be able to immediately recognize a few instances of this theme being portrayed in the main saga. Luke Skywalker's final act in The Last Jedi, what ultimately allows him to become one with the Force, was confronting his nephew and the source of his guilt that prompted his exile on the island. And the guilt that haunts Anakin is the result of the death of his mother Shmi, and that is, from a storytelling perspective, why the Mortis arc is the way it is. What the heroes discover on the inside of the holocron is a mystical world that is unlike any other.
I don't understand. What is this place?
Unlike any other, a conduit through which the entire force of the universe flows.
Are we in danger?
This planet is both an amplifier and a magnet.
The beings that lived on the planet were known together as the Ones, who went by father, daughter, and son. It's not clear if the Ones in Mortis were even real, or just some sort of shared vision.
We can take many forms. The shapes we embody are merely a reflection of the life force around us.
I don't think it really matters how real it was. From a storytelling perspective, I see the Mortis episodes as Anakin's internal psychological landscape given form so that we can have a peek inside his head. And the father confirms some things about Star Wars that many of us already suspected, that light and dark are connected and the balance is between them rather than being one or the other. He affirms a yin-yang nature of existence in which pairs of opposites such as life and death, good and evil, and light and dark can only exist together. The father makes his intention for bringing Anakin to Mortis clear.
What is it that you want from me?
To learn the truth about who you really are. One that maybe you have known all along. One you must believe in order to fulfill your destiny.
Basically, this whole experience can be viewed as Anakin having a wicked DMT trip, so I'll take the Dumbledore view of things on this matter.
Professor? Is this all real? Or is it just happening inside my head?
Of course it's happening inside your head, Harry. Why should that mean that it's not real?
With that being said, there's one thing you may have noticed about this family. It's missing its mother. I think this is a big clue hinting at 2 things. The first is that Anakin's mother is already dead, so the situation he encounters on Mortis reflects that. The second is that the love of Anakin's life, Padme, is not with him on this adventure. This serves both a mythological and psychological purpose. Anakin is meant to become the father, which is to say, someone who is balanced. But he's lacking his other half, or at least the wisdom that his other half brings to the table, which is the female principle. Anakin was never able to reconcile his guilt over having lost his mother, which leads him down a dark path in Revenge of the Sith. He needed to learn to let go of that guilt from his mother's death.
It is time you realize that your guilt does not define you, my son. You defined your guilt.
The climax of the first episode is the father's test for Anakin, in which he must release his guilt by choosing to save either Ahsoka or Obi-Wan. Rather than choosing, Anakin saves both by making the father's children submit to him. The father then says that Anakin is truly the chosen one and that he must remain behind on Mortis to take his place. Anakin refuses, and in my mind it's because Padme isn't with him and she's really the only thing he cares about, so of course he's going to leave. He needed his wife and the mother of his children with him to make the Mortis family complete. But the father's test revealed something else about the balance question. The type of balance Anakin achieved was not the right kind. It was through force and domination of the children. I think this is hinting at a lot of things. Anakin needed Padme to be complete so that he could keep his own dark side in check. On another level, it's a psychological message that we have to integrate the masculine and feminine parts of ourselves if we are to find inner peace. If it is only one or the other, it becomes much harder to reach our full potential, and the risk of repressed parts of ourselves breaking free and taking over becomes more real. This is why any child psychologist worth their salt will tell you how important it is to have two loving parents in the lives of children. It helps with proper emotional development. And this central dilemma, the lack of a mother figure on Mortis, leads us to the next episode. The rest of the story is about how the son, who represents the dark side, loses control of himself and destroys the balance on Mortis. And that will be the focus of part 2 of this series. Right now, I'd like to take this moment to thank a couple patrons who have supported this channel with contributions of $20 or more per video. Maysage and BBTTFN2001, thank you so much, you guys are awesome. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and share, and as always, thank you for watching.